enforcers of law who are tasked with maintaining public order, protecting individuals and property, and preventing and investigating crimes. That is what being a police officer means, or at least that's what they are trying to do. Instances have aroused where police officers have misused their authority, employed excessive force, and violated people's rights, particularly those from marginalized communities, leading to distrust and fear of law enforcement. Are they subjected to such power? What are the legal repercussions for them, however? And most of all, would they be treated differently when compared to the masses? Join us as we take a closer look at two of the most uncanny cases that could make question the judicial system as a whole. Our first case kicks off with the case of Harold Hill, which is just a perfect example of how our justice system can go wrong. This case definitely checks all the boxes, including a horrific rape and murder, as well as a mishandled conviction, you name it. So then what went about? Let's start with the so-called beacons of justice, Kenneth Bordeaux and John Halloran, the detectives who were assigned to the case and the beacons of law. They were the ones who managed to extract a confession from Peter Williams, who was later discovered to have been in custody when the crime was committed. How did they even produce a fabricated confession from someone who wasn't even present? Hill claims he was physically and mentally tortured until he confessed to crimes he didn't commit. Is this the kind of conduct we anticipate from our law enforcement personnel? The trial itself was held when Hill was 31 years old, despite the fact that he was only 16 at the time of the crime and was therefore tried as an adult. At this point, it's just not fair, and it's incomprehensible what Hill is going through. Given that neither of the defendants had a criminal history prior to the incident, this is an intriguing move by the prosecution. Hill and Young were given a life without parole sentence after the jury found them guilty of the murder. However, 13 long years later, DNA tests showed that neither of the defendants' cellular components found under Kathy Morgan's fingernails, nor the hair found at the crime scene matched either of them. Imagine the sheer suffering Hill endured for something he didn't do. It continues to amaze me how Hill managed to hang on to his life. The prosecutors disputed the findings despite this evidence, claiming that the hairs had nothing to do with the crime and that the cellular material might have come from sweat or drool that the recovery teams had left behind. Even in the face of such overwhelming evidence, it's shocking that the prosecutors were so resistant. Young was killed in a hit-and-run incident shortly after Harold and Young were finally let out of jail. This almost leads us to believe that this is almost a plot to clip both of them. Hill, on the other hand, accused the city of Chicago, the police, and the two detectives involved in the case of coercing a confession and violating his civil rights in a complaint he filed against them. The case was resolved for $1.25 million, of which Hill received $500,000 and the remainder was paid to the lawyers. It's surprising that the detectives were only asked to make a pitiful $7,500 payment for their roles in this whole fiasco. You think that's all? Wait until you hear this. It should be noted that Hill is currently serving a 27-year sentence after being found guilty once more of an unrelated charge of armed robbery. In spite of this, it is obvious that Harold Hill was let down by the legal system in the past. This case emphasizes the need for justice system reform to prevent erroneous convictions and make sure that those who abuse their power are held accountable. Starting with the investigation and continuing through the trial and conviction, the Harold Hill case is a tragedy of errors. Hill was wrongfully detained for 13 years, and because the system made him a criminal, he was never given the opportunity to adapt to life outside of prison. He was completely screwed over by the system, and the police only received $7,500 each. When police officers commit acts like the ones they did, they should be imprisoned for a minimum of the same amount of time as the victims they imprisoned. Up next, we have an oddball in the form of Sergeant Mario Cardona versus Daniel Garza. After being thrown and pinned to the ground, Daniel Garza was rendered helpless. Officer Mario Cardona, a longtime friend of Garza's, was on the verge of breaking his wrist. Confronting a criminal and keeping him confined is one thing, but putting a civilian without a reason is shocking. Garza recalled, I was trying to be a man and trying to hold in the pain, but man, that wrist lock hurts. He's just bending it and bending it. But why did Cardona go so far as to nearly break his wrist? His actions were apparently driven by rage toward Garza, whom he accuses of attempting to kidnap his stepdaughter. But are cops subjected to such an authority in the first place? It appears that the two men had a long history together because Garza had once dated Naomi Villanueva, the stepdaughter of Cardona. Villanueva left her parents' home to live with a friend because the relationship had reached its breaking point. However, Villanueva was allegedly taken from her friend's home in May 2015 by Garza without her consent and brought to her parents' residence in Whittier, where Cardona lived across the street. Garza was performing pilates in his garden when Cardona saw him and told him to go to the street. Cardona started his assault as soon as Garza sat down. Garza claimed that he was not the aggressor, and a neighbor who saw the incident attested to Garza's innocence. As soon as they arrived on the scene, the sheriff's deputies saw redness on Garza's face, bruises and abrasions on his knees, and redness on his wrist. After Garza complained about Cardona, the city of Los Angeles, Chief Beck, and Cardona were named as defendants in a federal lawsuit. Garza claimed that he had been the victim of a false arrest, an arbitrary search and seizure, overuse of force, an assault and battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The trial also featured a video of the incident captured by one of Garza's neighbors. They had made up a story of what had happened to make him look like a hero, and me look like a criminal, Daniel Garza. The hearing was presided over by U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson, who heard former Deputy City Attorney Michael Amarian speak in defense of the city. Cardona was found to have acted maliciously as an off-duty officer by the jury, and on June 26, 2017, he was ordered to pay Garza $210,000 in damages. In addition, the court added $664,000 in attorney's fees and $26,000 in post-trial costs. The city of L.A. refused to take responsibility for Cardona's actions and even refused to indemnify the officer, forcing him to pay for the charges out of his pocket. Jim DeSimone, Garza's attorney, claims, "This is the problem with the LAPD. This is why people are out on the street." The incident serves as an example of how police can abuse people and get away with it. In this instance, however, Garza was able to confront the authorities who had infringed upon his rights and prevail in his lawsuit against Cardona. It is clear that police officers cannot get away with using excessive force against citizens after the jury found Cardona guilty of malice. It is important to note that this case also emphasizes how crucial it is for citizens to be aware of their rights and to speak out against law enforcement when they believe those rights have been violated. Garza's decision to accuse Cardona of using excessive force and file a complaint against him demonstrates that people can take legal action to stop police brutality. What do you think of these cases? Which do you think is most unfair? Sound off in the comments below and make sure to let us know if we missed out on anything. While you are at it, make sure to hit that subscribe and leave a like to never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching.
Saying y'all can't sell.
I don't want to be filmed, so I'm going to ask you to leave.
Hours later.
How you doing?
She kind of filled me in on what was going on. Did she explain to you that they can't sell baby formula once they return it?
After
Against
she
the law.
already did.
Okay, it's time to go.
So if it's
And you're
against the
banned
law,
from here. They don't want you back in here.
okay.
So if you come back, what's your name?
You don't need my name.
Oh yeah, I do.
You sure you know the law?
Yes, sir. I think I know the law.
Okay.
In this incident, a citizen engaged in a heated encounter with two police officers over his refusal to provide his identification. The encounter began when the officers approached the individual and asked for his name. The citizen, asserting his knowledge of the law, questioned the officer's authority to request his identification without reasonable cause.
So what's happened?
I really don't want to talk about it now because
That's fine.
you
I've been what?
you breaking my constitutional rights, sir.
Oh, I am. Okay.
I promise you are.
Okay.
But I just like you don't
Haven't
want to
broken
explain to
your
me, I'm not gonna
constitutional
teach you. You should already know these things. So
The younger officer, seemingly more informed about citizens' rights, attempted to explain to the older officer why the individual was not legally obligated to provide his name.
They'll try to get you to put your hands on him and try to get you to put
touched
him in
him.
custody. I know, Pete. Just listen.
But if he called it a disturbance,
I understand completely. But their goal
get
is
his name,
they want
check
to
him for
sue.
warrant.
No,
Their
you're
goal
breaking
is-
my constitutional rights
goal is they
by
want to
threatening
sue.
to take me to jail for not giving you my name when I haven't committed a crime.
The citizen expressed his frustration with the older officer for attempting to infringe upon his constitutional rights and accusing him of breaking the law.
You're the one wanting to cause trouble, not me.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I would have just left. But you thought I ain't know what I was talking about. You thought you was just gonna break my constitutional
They wanted
rights.
you gone. I want to ban you. I want to run your
That's
ID.
fine.
and
I ain't
check you for
broke a law
warrants
though.
and then let you go.
I ain't
But
broke.
since now you want to stay and you want to wait for my supervisor to come and talk to you, we gonna stay here and we're gonna wait on him.
He gonna come talk to you.
Okay.
He ain't
All right.
coming to talk to me,
Oh, he
buddy.
gonna talk to you.
All right.
The younger officer acknowledged the citizen's concerns and emphasized the importance of de-escalation. As the conversation unfolded, the older officer initially insisted that the citizen was being detained and would have to wait for a supervisor. However, once the younger officer clarified that the citizen was not required to show his ID, the older officer changed his stance and expressed a desire to leave. The citizen pointed out the inconsistency in the officer's behavior, highlighting how the officer had initially claimed he was being detained but now was ready to depart.
He came in and barged in on me like I don't know my rights and I ain't got none at all. So
But you know,
Ask him your name.
there's constitutional rights, there's federal law, and then you got state laws
nothing
too, right?
trumps those constitutional rights, sir. Nothing.
Okay.
You should know that.
Okay.
Just in case you have to, just in
I got
case you lose your badge,
I got
you
you.
should understand that your constitutional rights.
Hey, if you got
That's
me
top
here,
dog, buddy.
you got me here, you got me here. But guess
But
what?
you've been nice, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I promise, man.
So
Good
can I-
energy,
Can
man.
I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Have I been ugly?
Have you got any money yet
Any money?
Yeah.
Plenty.
from suing?
Nah, I don't need to do that.
So I
you
haven't
have-
been nice
Nah,
to you?
I don't need
Okay,
to-
how was I not nice
I
to you?
asked him, man. I
Did I
didn't.
ask you your name?
Hey, it's all good.
I-
I'm
nah.
not worried about it. Pete, yeah.
Ask him. He told me I was resisting arrest in front of all
I never
these,
told you that.
in front of all these people in
You
Walmart,
said,
as if
"Why
I'm a
do I have
criminal,
to give you
man.
your name?" I
All
said,
right,
"Because
man. Come on, man.
you
But did you not tell me I had to give you my name?
Huh?
Did you not tell me I had to give you
Well,
my
I said
name?
you needed
So
to.
here's
No,
what
you
I'm
said
gonna
you had to
Yeah,
give me.
here's what
I
I'm
had
gonna
to
teach
give you my
do.
name.
It's hot. I'm gonna sit in my beautiful AC car.
Man, you
while we
blessed,
wait on
man.
my
I
supervisor.
got to stand out here and wait on the supervisor, man. It is hot.
The conversation continued with discussions about constitutional rights and the role of law enforcement in protecting the public. The citizen asserted that his constitutional rights were more significant than any potential disturbance at a Walmart store, referencing his right to privacy and freedom from unwarranted searches or detentions. The officers defended their actions, citing a disturbance at the store as the reason for their inquiry.
Because I got stuff I got to do, but you got me
No,
detained now.
well-
So we got each other detained.
Well, you should have
He's on his
came
way.
in.
You talk to him, and then I'm out of here.
You should have came with a de-escalating spirit and not the one you in.
Okay. Okay.
Get me on
You're
camera.
out here, too.
Unlawful detainment. For what? For what?
All the disturbance in Walmart.
I ain't caused no disturbance. I was as quiet as I was as
wasn't
quiet
here,
as a
but
mouse
that's what
standing
they
right
called
there.
us. When you look on my call,
It's on camera.
the signal on the call says a 25, which is a disturbance.
Does that camera lie? Neither does mine.
That's right.
You
And I
understand?
wasn't here when the disturbance was going on.
You didn't care to
Did
be
their
here. You
cameras
could have got
lie?
my
Because
side.
they probably have cameras on the whole
You could have
thing.
got my side.
Tried to.
No, you didn't.
But you just want to
It's
talk
on
about
camera.
constitutional rights,
Right.
and you want to talk about pot stirring stuff, because you're trying to stir a
My
pot.
constitutional rights is more important than you trespassing me from Walmart for something you ain't even discussed amongst us.
Yeah.
This
I
is a
just
pri-
asked you what your name was.
this is a private owned
I
business.
asked you what your name
I'm the
was.
public.
How is it wrong for me
I'll
to
pay
ask
you.
what your name is?
I'll pay you.
How is it
I live
wrong?
right around the corner. You just
I
ran
wear
my name.
on here.
You
How-
just ran
how
my
is it
name.
wrong
I'll
for me
pay
to
my
ask you?
taxes that pay you.
Throughout the interaction, tensions escalated, with the citizen becoming increasingly frustrated with what he perceived as a violation of his rights. The encounter concluded with the arrival of a supervisor who took over the situation. The citizen expressed his desire to have his side of the story heard, but the conversation reached an impasse as the officers maintained their position.
For Presley, badge number is 1679.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
He just broke
He
my
wanted to talk to
constitutional
you.
right.
Okay. The hell's that?
Under the threat of arrest, he told me I had to give him my name and I hadn't broken the law.
Well,
I just want you to explain to him that
The incident raises questions about the officer's understanding of citizens' rights and their handling of the situation. The citizen argued that his rights were being violated, while the officers defended their actions based on the reported disturbance. The encounter highlights the need for better training and awareness of constitutional rights among law enforcement personnel to ensure the citizens' rights are respected and protected during interactions with police.
County building. I'm a journalist working on a story on the building and just taking a couple of video of the place and going to the clerks, filing some FOIL requests, and be on my way.
In this clip from a YouTube channel, a citizen encounters two sheriff's deputies inside a county building. The citizen refuses to provide identification when asked, asserting that it would violate their Fourth Amendment rights. The deputies insist that signing in and providing identification is a requirement to enter the public building.
That's what I signed in as. I'm Erie County. No, thank you, sir.
Yes, that's the rule.
There's a violation of the Fourth Amendment to violate the Fourth Amendment.
You have to sign in. You have to use your
I
correct
did
name.
sign in.
Your last name is not Erie County. And show me your ID.
I'm here working as Erie County.
If your last name is Erie County, then you could stay. Come on,
No,
let's go.
I'm not leaving this.
The citizen argues that he is being asked to sign in and show identification without reasonable suspicion of a crime, and that's a Fourth Amendment violation.
Do
We
you
don't
want to?
have time to do what
Come on,
you're
Dan.
doing.
Let's
No,
go.
no, I'm not
Let's go.
doing anything.
Let's
Do
go.
not
Let's
touch
go.
me. Do not touch me.
They call for a supervisor to come and educate the deputies about the law. The encounter escalates as the citizen questions the deputies' knowledge of the Constitution and their understanding of civil rights.
These guys are violating my First Amendment rights and Fourth Amendment rights. They're impeding my traffic. They're causing illegal detention. They're refusing to put their body cameras on while they're violating my rights. I'm just trying to go to the county clerk's office and record my interactions, which is perfectly legal. You need to explain to them the freedom of the press, First Amendment, in public places.
Despite the citizens' attempts to assert their rights, the deputies persist in their demands for identification. The situation becomes tense as the deputies physically restrain the citizen, leading to accusations of assault and battery. The citizens remain steadfast, advocating for their freedom of the press and the right to document their experience in a public space.
Get ready to do some paperwork.
You're free to leave.
Oh, free to leave, free to stay.
That way.
Free to leave, free to go, free to stay. That's the way it works, guys. If I'm not being trespassed because I'm not doing anything illegal, you guys cannot impede my traffic.
Well, you didn't sign in.
I did sign in. Do you understand that?
No, you didn't.
I signed in. And you guys are going to know very, very, very well. You, especially you. You are going to know who I am very well by the time this is over, my friend. You too. You ignorant sons of... This is what we pay for, guys. These are the sheriffs down here. They just think they can detain people willy-nilly, ID people on demand, to be inside of a public building.
What, do you want to be sovereign citizen types?
No, I don't have a badge like that. Those are the sovereign citizens. They can violate people's rights and get away with it and have these big stupid smiles on their faces and shit. Yeah, those are the real sovereign. Look at her. She knows that's a sovereign citizenship. Look at that smile. She can't even hide it. That's real sovereign citizenship right there.
Eventually, the sheriff arrives at the scene. The citizen expresses their concerns about the violation of their civil rights, including the deputy's demand for identification and the refusal of service at the county clerk's office. The sheriff defends the deputy's actions, stating that the situation is being addressed.
How are you, sir?
You're the sheriff of the county?
I am.
This deputy and that deputy is violating my civil rights. They are also put their hands on me and assaulted me or battered me unlawfully because they do not have a lawful command to tell me to turn my camera off in this public space. You know that as a sheriff. I'm here to document my experience, and these guys are stopping me, causing illegal detention on my rights.
It doesn't look like you're being detained to me.
All right, thank you.
However, the citizen continues to argue that their rights have been violated.
You are violating the First Amendment rights and refusing service down here. That's all I want to know. You say yes?
Why don't we get a hold of the clerk's office and see if they want to see them?
Do the clerks have a choice who they get to see and don't get to see?
So,
When did that law come into
actually,
effect?
they're down there talking to her right now.
I understand, but why is this door locked, Sheriff?
It's locked.
Why?
So,
Sheriff, why is this door locked?
if they're gonna,
If they're going to allow public services to public, what is going on here? You guys are violating my rights.
there's no rights for you.
There's no rights being violated? I can't go to the county clerk's office because of why?
I'm
Because
sure
of the
you'll be able
camera?
to get there at some point.
When you educate your officers about my First and Fourth Amendment rights, they think they can get ID out of me to come into a public building. Do you agree with that, Sheriff? Sheriff, do you have to show ID to get into this public building? You have to show your driver's license.
You have to write your name down.
I did write my name down there, who I am.
Throughout the clip, the deputies display a lack of knowledge about constitutional rights and demonstrate a dismissive attitude towards the citizens' concerns. The encounter sheds light on the need for better education and training within law enforcement regarding citizens' rights and the importance of respecting those rights during interactions. The clip concludes with the announcement that the sheriff involved is retired, and the failure of the department in handling the situation was exposed in local news coverage. The citizens' resilience in standing up to harassment and bullying is commended, and the clip serves as a reminder of the significance of holding law enforcement accountable for their actions. In the incident, Anthony X, a knowledgeable individual, engaged in a confrontation with patrol officers who approached him while he was recording in a public area.
Am I detained?
You're detained for reasonable suspicion right now, okay?
Of what crimes? Is that a misdemeanor or felony?
I believe it's a misdemeanor right now.
Anthony X asserted his rights and cited California Penal Code 148G and the Tom Bain Civil Rights Act to emphasize that his filming activities were protected by law.
The camera walking around, you have no right to detain me. Just so you know, if you interfere with my activity in any way, shape, or form, you will be in violation of California Penal Code 148.G and the Tom Bain California Act, which you can lose your qualified immunity. I will sue you personally. 152.2 subsection B.
Okay.
Think your words wisely. Once again, am I free to go? Am I free to go?
He firmly stated that the officers had no right to detain him and warned them about potential legal consequences for interfering with his constitutional rights. After asserting his freedom to go, the officers acknowledged that he was not being detained.
It's public. I've never been trespassed from this area.
Stay out the secured.
I've never been in a secured area.
Stay out the secured airport property.
All right, do me a favor, and I'm open to a cordial conversation. Since I'm not detained at this moment, I have no problem.
You're free to go.
At this point, no, I'm just curious.
Nope.
So,
There's no detention or anything.
okay, so I'd like the incident number, please. I will be doing a FOIA request on all information and body cam.
Anthony X requested the incident number and expressed his intention to submit a Freedom of Information Act request for all relevant information and body camera footage. The incident highlighted the importance of citizens' awareness of their rights and holding law enforcement accountable for respecting those rights.
Sorry?
That's not the way this goes. Who are you?
I'm Sergeant Barry Anson, Fort Wayne Police Department. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
I didn't give it.
I know. I want to know what your name is.
I don't care what you want.
Well,
that's not the policy.
The Secret Service.
I don't care.
Us to identify
then why don't they come out here and talk to me?
They will in a moment.
Okay, go ahead. Am I being detained?
What's your name?
Am I being detained?
What is your name?
Am I being detained?
Throughout the interaction, the citizen emphasized his rights and challenged the officers to justify their actions. He adamantly refused to comply with their demands, aware that his rights were being infringed upon. The citizen recognized the importance of knowledge about local laws and confidently navigated the situation using legal citations to support his arguments.
Nope.
All right, stop.
No. Am I being detained?
Yes, you are being
detained. Am I being detained?
Identify who you are.
That's not the way this goes.
Well, I don't care what you think.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I'm not.
Sir,
no.
The Secret Service has
I don't care.
To identify
I don't care what they want.
Okay.
That's not the way this goes.
I understand that.
Show me the law.
Okay.
The incident shed light on the issue surrounding law enforcement officers' reliance on ID requests without reasonable cause. The citizen demonstrated the significance of understanding one's rights and the laws governing such encounters. By standing his ground and refusing to provide identification when it was not required by law, he effectively challenged the officer's authority and highlighted their lack of legal justification. This citizen's actions underscored the importance of citizens being informed about their rights and the laws governing law enforcement encounters. His knowledge and assertiveness in the face of an overzealous response from the officers served as a powerful reminder of the need for accountability and adherence to proper protocols and law enforcement practices.